The story begins with Moana journeying across the vast oceans in search of others who, like her, share a deep connection with the sea. Her hope begins to wane as she struggles to find anyone, but just as she's about to give up, she stumbles upon an ancient artifact. Believing it to be a relic left behind by the people she has been searching for, Moana decides to return to her home island. Upon her arrival, she is warmly welcomed by the villagers, including her father. Her younger sister, Samia, eagerly asks what Moana has brought back for them. Moana presents the artifact, but Samia is unimpressed by it. Determined to help her sister understand its significance, Moana takes her to the Cave of Ancestors. There, she reveals the importance of their family's wayfinding history. She explains that this very cave was where she first discovered her identity as a wayfinder, following in the footsteps of the legendary navigator, Tautaibusa. Moana recounts how, long ago, before Maui stole the heart of Te Fiti, Tautaibusa had envisioned a grand mission, to connect their island with all the other communities across the ocean. He believed that such unity would allow them to accomplish extraordinary feats. Moana tells Samia that as the new wayfinder, it is now her responsibility to continue Tautaibusa's mission. In response, Samia suggests that Moana should enlist Maui's help for the task, so that Moana could remain on the island and stay with her family forever. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to the sisters, Maui sets off for an unknown destination. He finds himself confronting Matangi, the storm god, who serves as the enforcer of Nalo. When Maui demands that Matangi open the gates of the island, she taunts him, questioning whether he plans to join forces with Moana again to challenge Nalo. Maui tries to downplay his concern for Moana, but Matangi warns him that Moana is already entangled in the conflict, whether he likes it or not. Back on Motunuai, the villagers celebrate Moana's achievements with a grand feast. During the festivities, Chief Tui Waialiki, Moana's father, conducts the traditional kava ceremony, formally bestowing upon her the title of Tautai, the Master Navigator. However, the joyous occasion is suddenly interrupted by a lightning strike that hits the roof, plunging Moana into a vivid vision. In the vision, she finds herself aboard a boat with Tautaibusa as he braves a raging storm, desperately trying to steer the vessel to safety. Despite his valiant efforts, the boat capsizes under the force of the towering waves, and Moana is pulled into the ocean's depths. When she awakens, she discovers that she is back on Motunuai, but the island is eerily deserted. As she wanders through the empty village, she wonders what became of her people. Tautaibusa suddenly appears behind her, explaining that this desolation is the fate awaiting her people if she fails to unite the communities of the ocean. When Moana asks Tautaibusa how she can unite the people of the ocean, he tells her to look for a fire in the sky, explaining that finding the heart of Te Fiti was only the beginning. He reveals that she must now seek an island called Motu Fetu to save everyone. After imparting this wisdom, Tautaibusa vanishes, and Moana wakes up to find her family gathered anxiously around her. She tells them about her vision and insists that she must find Motu Fetu, leaving everyone confused. Later that night, a villager shares a picture of the island with Moana and her family. The villager explains that Motu Fetu is an ancient place where the ocean's channels once converged, connecting the people of the sea. However, it was lost and cursed long ago. When Moana asks about the curse, the villager recounts the story of Nalo, a power-hungry god. Nalo believed he could grow stronger by separating the people of the ocean and weakening them. To achieve this, he cursed Motu Fetu, causing it to sink to the ocean's depths. The villager adds that their ancestors believed reaching Motu Fetu would break the curse, restore the ocean's channels, and reunite the people. Their conversation is interrupted by a sudden commotion outside. When they step out of the hut, they see a meteor streaking across the sky. Moana immediately recognizes it as the fire in the sky that Tautaibusa told her to follow. Her father, however, expresses doubt, warning that she might be chasing after a dead end. Her mother, on the other hand, believes it is a sign from their ancestors, affirming that Moana has been chosen for this mission. Nearby, Moana's younger sister, Samia, overhears that Moana is leaving again and becomes upset. Their father reassures Moana that he will look after Samia while she embarks on her journey to save their people once more. That night, Moana reflects on her choices and realizes she must follow the meteor. The next morning, Moana's mother convinces her that she cannot make the journey alone and needs a crew. Moana begins recruiting companions for her voyage. She enlists Lato, a skilled craftswoman who had built the canoe they will be using. Lato agrees to join the mission. Next, Moana speaks to Kiki, the village's head farmer, asking him to help grow food aboard the canoe. Lastly, she turns to a poster of Maui and, with hope, asks if he will assist her again. Instead of Maui, she meets a boy named Moan, who bears a striking resemblance to Maui and possesses similar strength. Moan volunteers to join the crew. With her team assembled, Moana prepares to set sail. She reassures Samia that the sea is their friend, demonstrating its power as it parts for them. This act convinces Samia that Moana will be safe. In a gesture of love and hope, Samia hands Moana a starfish, making her promise to return so they can be together again. With that, Moana and her crew embark on their journey to find Motu Fetu and restore the connection of the ocean's people. Meanwhile, Maui finds himself captured by Matangi, hanging upside down deep beneath the sea and far away from his magical hook. Desperate to escape, he tries to enlist the help of passing fish to retrieve his hook, but his attempts fail. Matangi soon appears above him, taunting him. She remarks that she cannot wait to see if Moana will come to his rescue. Out on the open ocean, Moana faces her own challenges as her crew struggles to adjust to the strong waves and life aboard the canoe. Tensions rise, and Moana takes it upon herself to calm everyone. To lift their spirits, she begins to sing a song, which successfully distracts them and helps restore a sense of unity. Days turn into nights as the group continues to follow the meteor streaking across the sky. Then, one day, the meteor suddenly explodes. At first, Moana tries to stay calm, reassuring everyone that this might be part of the plan. However, as the canoe begins to spin out of control, her confidence wavers. Panicked, she orders Moan to grab the oars and stabilize the canoe, but Lato quickly points out that it's the sea itself pushing them in the opposite direction. The chaos finally subsides as the canoe comes to a stop. It's then that they notice something looming in the distance. Moan and Kiki cheer, thinking they've reached Motu Fetu. But Moana's excitement turns to alarm when she hears a familiar sound. She quickly shouts to warn her crew. They'd been surrounded by the coconut pirates known as the kakamura. Expecting an attack, Moana prepares to defend the canoe. To her surprise, the kakamura suddenly begin to retreat. Before she can process what's happening, a massive monster clam emerges behind them and devours another ship in its path. Acting swiftly, Moana takes control of the canoe and turns it away from the danger. However, the current proves too strong to escape. Thinking quickly, she ties their canoe to the kakamura's ship, allowing the two vessels to drag each other to safety. Their relief is short-lived as the kakamura fire darts at Moana and her crew, rendering them unable to move. Seizing the moment, the pirates take over their canoe. Using coconuts as a form of communication, the kakamura convey a message that Moan is able to decode. He explains that the kakamura's island lies in the same sea as Motu Fetu. When Nao divided the ocean to weaken its people, the kakamura's ancestors were cut off from their home. They fought to reunite, but when they finally found their way back, they encountered the giant monster clam. Convinced they would never return home, the kakamura lived in isolation, separated from their roots. Understanding their plight, Moana realizes that the kakamura have been trying to return home all along. When the pirates ask for her help in defeating the giant monster clam, she agrees. In exchange, the kakamura promise to help Moana locate Motu Fetu. Lato devises a clever plan, suggesting that they use venom to defeat the monster clam. With a renewed sense of purpose, the crew sets out to face the creature. As they enter the clam's lair, the canoe once again becomes unstable, throwing them into chaos. Just when it seems all hope is lost, a brave coconut pirate named Kota leaps onto the canoe. Armed with the venom, Kota delivers the decisive blow to the clam, neutralizing the threat and ensuring everyone's safety. Just before the giant clam sinks, Kota cuts the rope tying Moana's canoe to the kakamura's ship, causing the crew to fall into Matangi's lair. To Moan's surprise and delight, they find Maui tied up there as well. Once he is freed, Maui realizes that Moana is missing. At the other end, Moana wakes up and finds herself alone, but this does not last for long as Matangi appears in front of her. Matangi reveals that she has been trapped by Nalo as well and wants to help Moana reach Motufitu. She reunites her with Maui and the rest of the crew before helping Moana open the gates to let them out of her realm. Out in the ocean, Maui tells Moana that she and her crew are going to die because Nalo is too powerful. Just then, they notice a monster sent by Nalo heading towards them. As the monster attacks, Moana quickly finds that Maui was right and that they might not be cut out for the mission. The monster causes their canoe to overturn, where Moana almost loses his life, but is saved by Maui at the last moment. Soon, the crew finds themselves stranded at a remote island in the middle of nowhere. When Lado shows Moana their destroyed canoe, she begins to lose hope, claiming that just when she thinks she has got a handle on everything, something knocks her down. However, Maui reminds her that she has saved everyone once, and can do it again. Feeling motivated to find Motufitu again, Moana begins to form a plan with Maui. They tell everyone that they will sail through the heart of Nalo's storm where he will use his hook to raise the island, which is where Moana and the rest of the group will come in. With the plan finally in motion, Maui transforms into a hawk and flies through the storm while Moana and the crew try to avoid getting taken down by the storm. When they struggle to make it to the center safely, Maui joins them on the canoe so that they can come up with another plan. Moana deduces that Nalo is targeting the humans because he believes defeating them will make him stronger. She convinces Maui to press on, knowing it's their only chance to succeed. Using this knowledge to their advantage, Maui flies ahead and reaches the storm's center, where he uses his hook to try pulling Motufitu from the depths. Meanwhile, Lado crafts a makeshift sail to help the canoe evade the storm's destructive force. Just when it seems like they are gaining the upper hand, Maui is struck by lightning and falls into the ocean. Realizing there is no other choice, Moana dives into the stormy waters and manages to touch Motufitu herself. At that moment, she is struck by Nalo's lightning, but this act causes the storm to dissipate. With the curse broken, the ocean's channels begin to reconnect. As Maui regains consciousness, he notices that Moana is missing. He dives into the water to search for her and finds her unconscious. Overcome with grief, Maui begins to cry, fearing she won't wake up. Suddenly, the spirits of past wayfinders appear around them. These spirits help Moana regain consciousness, and she is gifted a wayfinder's tattoo, marking her as a true navigator. Together, Moana and Maui use their newfound powers to pull Motufitu from the ocean's depths. They watch in awe as the island rises and the ocean's channels connect, restoring balance to the seas. Soon, people from distant islands begin arriving at Motufitu, drawn together by the renewed connection. A few days later, Moana returns home with Maui and the rest of the crew. The village throws a grand celebration in her honor, recognizing her as the leader who united the ocean's people.